In this video, I'm going to be showing you a great way to paint your space walls, no matter your skill level, so you can impress anyone who sees them. And so you can follow along, this is an easy to follow step-by-step guide explaining all the steps and techniques, so you'll have the confidence and knowledge to get your own space wolves painted. And if you stick around until the end, I'll be showing you how to paint some of the more fun things like weathered armour, fur pelts, as well as gems and lenses. Welcome to TableTopReady, my name's Michael, and I want to show you that painting space walls doesn't have to be difficult. I want you to know how you'll be able to paint some miniatures you can be really proud of. All of the paints and brushes I use throughout this tutorial will be shown on the screen as I use them, and they'll also be listed in the description along with any other hobby equipment I think you'll find useful, with affiliate links to where you can buy them. Before we get started, I do want to say a massive thank you to all the amazing people who've made this tutorial possible with their continued support. It really means a lot. It allows me to get all the paints, brushes and miniatures I need to make these tutorials so I can continue to help you get better at painting. As well, if you enjoy my content here on TableTopReady, then let me know by clicking that like button, and why not leave me a comment. I love reading them and hearing about your own hobby. Before we get started, we'll have to get our miniatures ready for painting, which I've made a dedicated video about on the channel. For this video, I'll be painting our space wolf using sub-assemblies, making painting it much easier than if we had fully assembled our miniature. I've also chosen to undercoat our space wolf with Mechanica Standard Grey, but know that you can use whatever undercoat you want, the steps are still the same. One of the best ways to start painting your miniatures is to get all of our base colours painted first. This lets us spend time choosing what colours we want to paint everything, and painting becomes less overwhelming as we've created a great starting point to work from. The first thing we're going to paint is our armour using rust grey, and for best results when painting, we always want to thin our paint, and I find an equal amount of water does the trick. And I would also remove excess paint on some paper towel first, so we don't have an overloaded brush when painting. And when we're ready, we want to keep our brush moving and avoid going over areas we've already painted to prevent creating any unwanted texture whilst the paint is still drying. When you're done, because we thinned our paint, it won't have covered very well, so let's repeat the process and paint another layer. This also means we can build up to a solid colour without losing any details on our miniatures. Just make sure each layer is fully dried first before doing another one. Let's get all the ribbing between armour and weapon casings painted next using a Baden Black. And whilst painting, we need to remember that it's okay to be messy and make mistakes. It's all part of the fun, and we can neaten up and correct any mistakes as we continue to paint. The next thing we can get done are all the metal, starting with any silver details, painting them iron hand steel. For any gold details, let's paint them with Retributor armour. I really do believe that the best place to start is getting all of our base colours painted first. It makes painting a lot less overwhelming, and we've basically gotten everything started, and we also get to choose what colours we want everything to be. Once the metals have been painted, we can paint any belts and pouches with Rhinox hide. For the other details, I'll leave them until I'm ready to show you how to paint them later, including the shoulder pads. I now want to show you what to do next with the armour, which involves learning about glazing and creating definition. When you're ready, let's do some glazing, which is going to make our armour look more interesting and less flat. We're starting with an equal amount of rust grey and the fang, and to make it a glaze we want to thin our mix down with twice the amount of water. This is going to make our paint more transparent, allowing colours underneath to come through. We're using this glaze around lower areas of the armour sections, and we want to apply glaze in even thin layers. To create a smoother transition between colours, we can use a glaze of the colour we're transitioning from. We can go darker as well if you want to, using the fang to glaze the lower edges of the armour. We need to remember that we might not be very good at something when we're first starting out, and it takes time and practice to learn new skills. We all have to start somewhere, and for me the most important thing to remember is to enjoy doing what we're doing. Let's now define the shape of the armour with a recess shade using the fang, helping to bring out details in the different panels. A recess shade involves painting directly into recesses and areas to create our definition, rather than using an overall wash, which can be messy and darken the colours we apply them over. If you're a bit messy, we can neaten things back up once you're done. Another way to bring out details is with some shades. We can use Norn Oil for our silver details in any belts and pouches, and Reikland Flesh Shade for any gold details. Apply enough to cover areas comfortably, avoiding any pooling in areas you don't want it to. It's now time to learn about highlighting to bring out the details and edges even more. Let's start with a chunky highlight for our armour using an equal mix of rust grey and fenrizion grey. This wants to be quite a thick line so it can still be seen once we've done our finer highlights after this. Paint this along any edges and around details. Once you're done with the chunky highlight, let's do an edge highlight using fenrizion grey, and this is to bring out any edges, areas and raised details to draw our attention to them and to make these features stand out even more. To make this easier, we can angle our brush and run it along an edge to create a highlight, and if you can't do this, then we just have to take our time painting thin lines where we want those highlights to be. If we want to improve our brush control and hand-eye coordination, then the best thing to do is to learn and practice edge highlighting, and this is also going to help improve the look of our miniatures. Next, we want to do a finer highlight using blue horror, and this is used to really emphasise the more prominent edges and details to make them stand out even more. The last highlight we can do is a spot highlight using Ulthuan Grey, to paint dots on all the corners of our armour where light would be more focused. If you need help with your highlighting, I do have a dedicated video on the channel showing you what helps me, so go check it out. Now we know how to highlight our details, let's work on any black details like ribbon and weapon casings. To highlight these, start with a chunky highlight using Eshin Grey. Let's use some Dawnstone next to edge highlight these areas. For any belts and pouches, first do a chunky highlight with Doomball Brown. Then finish these details using Scrag Brown to highlight those edges. When it comes to the metals, let's first highlight the silver details with Stormhouse Silver. And for the gold, first lighten any raised areas and details with Liberated Gold, before highlighting with Stormhouse Silver. This is where I want to show you how to paint those red and yellow shoulder pads that make Space Wolf so iconic. Let's start with the red shoulder pad using Mephiston Red for our base colour. And it's here we can create some markings using Abaddon Black. This lets us use our base colour to tidy up our design. We can then use our glazing technique to make our pads more interesting using a corn red glaze. Remember to use a glaze of the colour we're transitioning from to smooth things out. Doing this does mean things will look messy, but neating things back up once you're done. Once you're happy with how that's looking, we can do a recess shade using Galvor Back Red between the flat area and the trim. Highlight the flat area with Troll Slayer Orange. I know what I'm showing you may seem like a lot of work, and you'd be right, but I want to show you what's possible, and it's really up to you how many of these steps and techniques you use. It's now time to paint that yellow shoulder pad, and for this let's start with an equal mix of Avalon Sunset and Flash Skitch Yellow. And I know yellow can be a difficult colour, but we can build up the colour with multiple thin layers as normal. When your base colour is done, we can use an Avalon Sunset glaze to make things interesting, smoothing things out with a glaze of our base colour. Next, do a recess shade using Scrag Brown. After that, let's highlight our yellow pad with a line of Dawn Yellow to finish. Before we move on to the more fun things to paint, let's see what else we can do with the armour. The first thing we can do is paint little scuffs and scratches across our armour using Fenrizion Grey. And we can even paint little chips on edges with Rhinox Hide using the side of our brush where we can. Finally, let's not forget to paint any rivets using Stormhouse Silver. It's a small thing to do, but it really does make a difference. In this final section, I want to show you how to paint the fun stuff like fur pelts, runes and gems. If you're painting Space Wolves, you're going to need to paint fur, and for this we can start with only 3 base colours: a dark colour, a mid-tone colour and your lightest colour. For this example, let's start with Rhinox Hide for the middle area of the fur. Once you're happy with that, let's use Mournfang Brown to continue on from our first colour. Then after that, let's paint raised areas and along edges with our lightest colour as Andrew Dust. Finish any fur, highlighting it with Screaming Skull, and this is made easier using the side of our brush like we've done already when highlighting. If you have any recessed runes, we can thin down some Baccarat blue more than we normally would to help with this, and we kind of want this to bleed over the edge as well to create a glow effect. We can then use some blue horror to make the glow more intense in the recessed areas. It's always worth spending that extra time and effort painting those cool effects and details. Not only will this help to elevate our miniatures, but they're really fun to paint as well. The last thing I want to show you how to paint are any gems and the lenses using Mephiston Red for our base colour. After that, we can use Troll Slayer Orange on the ridges of gems and Fire Dragon Bright to paint a thin line along the bottom of any lenses. Finish these details with dots of Fire Dragon Bright for any gems and a dot of White Scar in the top red corner of your lenses. Space Wolves are a really iconic legion that really stand out on the tabletop, so it was really important for me to show you how to do them justice, including how to do some of the more intimidating details like yellow shoulder pads and fur pelts. So let's see how they turned out. But before we see the reveal, I do want to take a moment to thank Kalia and Sir Peachio, who has recently become a supporter or has donated to the channel. Thank you so much. And if you enjoy the content here on TableTopReady and want to help support the channel as well, you can become a channel member or join my Patreon, which gives you access to our Discord, regular updates, and you'll get to watch videos and tutorials early. We've now finished painting our Space Wolf, and I hope I've been able to give you the confidence and knowledge to get your own painted. I've got plenty of other tutorials on the channel, including how to paint the infamous Thousand Suns, who were cast down by the Space Wolves during the Heresy. I really do enjoy making these tutorials, and I hope you find them useful. If you do, then please leave a like and let me know in the comments below. As well, make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on future content, and I'll see you in the next video.